Hi guys, welcome to a very special Wellness Wednesday video. Today we are not talking about scientific studies. Today I am joined with the co-founder of Ice Wellness, Ms. Jessica Lay, and we are going to talk about what Ice Wellness has done for us, because I think a lot of people don't really understand why it's important to track their progress and why it's important to make sure you're doing ice baths the way that's best for you. I don't want to say doing them correctly because there's no real one way to do them.
No, definitely. And I mean, first of all, I acknowledge everyone that actually takes the plunge and gets into that icy water, because that in itself, it's not an easy thing to do. That's how we were both doing it. We were just hurling ourselves into that icy water. And that was
Quite
kind of,
literally.
yeah, and that was kind of it. Which is still, you get all the benefits and it's a great thing to do. And again, like, kudos to people that do it.
Or even
But
cold showers. I mean, even if you're taking that steps, I hate cold showers. But if that's all you got and you're doing it, that's awesome.
yes, and the reason for the Ice Wellness Journal, once we both started tracking the times and the if we ate, if we drank water, even noting down some positive affirmations to say to yourself while you're in there, it's made a world of a difference from just hurling your body into that cold water and then getting out. It's opened up a new world of straight possibilities in yourself and in your health and wellness.
Yeah, and we've seen it before with people that we've guided through as well, where there's that emotional release, which I don't know if you've ever experienced. I know I've never experienced it, but it's a really powerful thing to not only see someone, their body reacts to the trauma they've held, it comes to their brain, they react to it, they let it out, and then they write it down, and they write down how they felt before and after, and there's a huge amount of growth that happens within that 3-minute span that, maybe you wouldn't have really processed the same way if you didn't record it, because now she can go back a day, a week, a month later and look at it and be like, oh yeah, this happened, but I processed it because I was able to actually process it instead of just getting out and going, I don't know what that was, and I'm never doing that again.
Totally. Once you actually face your traumas and your quirks, I guess, like if you have anxiety or depression and you face it by writing down how you're feeling before you get in, and then go through the experience kind of thinking about it internally, letting the ice water just trigger that fight or flight response, and you fight it, obviously. And when you get out and you're feeling, you write down how you're feeling afterwards. This is what I do. Write down how you're feeling afterwards, and you're usually in a more euphoric, happy state. And then you're like, wow, I was feeling super stressed. I was depressed about this or that before I got in, but now after the fact, I'm doing a million times better. I'm feeling good. You can then go out into the world kind of like, okay, I'm feeling stressed right now. I know now how to get out of this state and find that more peace and euphoric feeling, and you don't have to sit in that.
Yeah, I had to laugh because there's an account I follow who posted times you shouldn't plunge, and I disagreed with all of them. Mostly because we've taken the time to really look at the studies and the science and whatnot, but also because it was just really bad advice. And one of the things they said was don't plunge when you're stressed. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, because there have been multiple studies that prove that if you know you're gonna have a stressful day, do an ice bath, because it already sets you up. You get that fight or flight, response. Then your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. You go into rest and reset, which means when you go into that stressful situation, you're already in rest and reset. So even if your fight or flight goes up, you can process it back down. And so it was one of those scenes that I was just like, why would you say that to someone? And I think they said it because they don't understand the emotional and mental benefits that can come from cold therapy, they're only looking at the physical. And if you're only looking at the physical, like so many people do, you're really shortchanging yourself and your clients.
Yes, you need to remember it's your body, your practice. Another great benefit to the Ice Wellness Journal for people that don't take pre-workouts and supplements and things like that. I've noticed doing an ice bath before the gym sometimes gets me through a workout better than any pre-workout and supplement. And that could be the same for others, or if you, are relying on those things too much, try an ice bath if your doctor approves of it, obviously, and go to the gym afterwards. It's a great benefit, and trying the ice bath after your workout, for that muscle recovery and things like that. It's just, and track it again, see how you're feeling pre-workout or post-workout, and it's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it all depends on your goals, right? Like if you're trying to gain a lot of muscle, you don't want to plunge after your workout, because to build muscle, you have to let, the tears happen, the inflammation happen, so it can repair itself and repair itself bigger. But if you're not worried about muscle gain, if you're just worried about, I just ran 10 miles and I need to make sure that my legs don't feel like jello in an hour, absolutely do an ice bath afterwards. And we've actually created a free download that we'll link in the description that can give you a good starting point as far as temperature and duration based off of the science that we've looked at, just to help get started. Because a lot of people struggle with where to start. That seems to be a common thread that we've seen, is people going like, okay, I got my plunge, now what? Like, what temperature does it have to be at? How long do I need to stay in? Do I do it at morning or at night? And there's a lot of what someone in our group called, and I absolutely love it, and that's why it's the title for this playlist, bro science, right? Because there's a lot of information out there that's just allegorical, and there's a lot of information out there that's studies for and studies against, because of course, as with anything, it depends on who's looking at it and what they're trying to prove. But at the end of the day, it's really all about you and what's best for you. And if you're not tracking that, it's really hard to determine what's best. When I was doing the early morning challenge, I thought I was going to have a fantastic month. I figured every day was going to be great and I was going to slay and I was going to do all this stuff. And within 3 hours, I was like, I need a nap.
Yep. And if you're fearful of getting started and you don't have like a buddy, I was fortunate to have Rose with me the first time I ever tried an ice plunge. I don't think I would have gotten in without somebody there. But Ice Wellness Journal comes with fantastic meditations that can put you and your mind in a more calmed state and guide you through getting into the cold and staying there. If you just focus your mind on our meditations, it makes all the world of a difference. It's kind of like having a buddy there.
Yeah, and especially with the private community that comes with the subscription, right? Like that's where you can find your accountability, or if you're like me and Peter, your competitive buddy. Because we do like to get competitive with each other. But we're also considering eventually, maybe not right now, but we are in talks about doing like a quarterly live event where we do, a 3 to 4 hour live Q&A, live walkthrough. If you're in the region where we're at, then we could possibly even do, host some actual people. But if not, then we'll at least host it live either in the Facebook group or on the YouTube channel, just to, again, expand that community and give you, a break from your friends who think you're crazy.
Yes, I love our ice bath community. It's the most supportive, and it's all about the love of ice baths. We've seen the benefits, the life changings. I've come off a lot of antidepressants because of ice baths. Like, there's just so many benefits, and to have this community to back us, it makes it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It's fantastic seeing like all the people who are actually interested.
Ice baths have also helped me a lot with recovery from broken bones.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I feel like it really sped up my recovery process from my ankle fracture, which is awesome. So people that, you know, want a little bit quicker recovery, you want to get back to work and get back to your life after an accident and things like that. So ice baths are just amazing.
Yeah, I use it for a lot of pain management because I have this fun thing where I'm immune to all painkillers. And so, like my severe nerve damage, headaches, like stuff like that, there's nothing I can do about it but power through. And thanks to the ice baths, I don't get the debilitating migraines I used to get. I can get through the day without wanting to chop my leg off because it's inflamed and painful. Um, and again, just the mental reset, like we've talked about, like going into it with a mantra, like you said, and having that, ability to work your way through it is so powerful. Like I never thought I would need it. I was never a journaler per se. I was never into meditation really. But the mantras definitely do help just from a centering yourself standpoint. And then once you get out, like you already feel pretty good when you get out, but when you get out and you've also reset your mental state and just reset your brain as well as your body, it's a whole nother level of euphoria.
Yes, you can get back to work, you can get back to your projects, you can slay your goals afterwards. It just is a really great motivator. Even though it sucks, cold's not easy, but we still make the decision to do it because we know the benefits and they're real.
And most things worth doing are not easy. But yeah, it's like I said, not a normal Wellness Wednesday video, but it is super important. I think that we talk about these things. One, it's just important that we talk about our mental health and emotional health in general. But two, it's really important to remember that ice therapy, cryotherapy, ice baths, cold plunges, whatever you want to call them, are not one-dimensional, and it's time we stop treating them like they are. So again, guys, I will link to that free download in the description if you want to check it out. And happy plunging.